One of the subtle aspects of the demo we've been looking at so far is the space between list items. In the last modification that we made to the style sheet, we specified a margin of 5 pixels around all 4 sides of a list item. This ultimately meant that the top list item was at least 5 pixels away from the top of the page, but notice that a list item in the middle is also just 5 pixels away from the top list item. If the top item has a bottom margin of 5 pixels, and that middle item has a top margin of 5 pixels, why isn't the space between the list items adding up to a full 10 pixels, 5 from the top, 5 from the bottom? The answer is that in HTML, when top and bottom margins meet, they will overlap or collapse. Technically, they will overlap until one of the margins touches the border of the other element, meaning you'll always have a margin that is the maximum amount of the bottom and top margins that are meeting. In this case, both the bottom and the top between a list item is 5 pixels, so we have a 5 pixel margin. This behavior only applies to vertical margins. When we stack elements next to each other horizontally later in the course, we'll see that horizontal margins do not collapse or overlap. The collapsing vertical margin makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because the margin for our list items will make sure that we push away from the top and the left of our window. But when we have a list item in between 2 other list items, we still want that same consistent 5 pixel margin. We don't want both margins to add up to 10 pixels and push these further apart than they are from the left and the top. So vertical margins collapse, and we like that behavior. The largest margin between these 2 elements will set the space between them.